Thank you for joining us for another episode of Prison Bosses. Anyone who tunes in knows that this is the platform where we talk to people who've been incarcerated but have been able to turn themselves and turn their lives around and turn themselves into bosses. I love to hear the journey, but I think more importantly is the knowledge share, because success leaves clues, and everybody on this platform is going to leave some great jewels through their experiences. And so today I have a really special guest. This gentleman is upstate New York, capital region OG, young OG. As a youth, his name was ringing bells in the streets, and today his name rings in the streets because of how he has helped put others on, the good that he does in the community. This brother's going from, selling drugs to owning and selling a bread business, real estate, and shit, even smoothies. And so it's with great pride. No, scratch that. It's with Griffin pride that I
Yes,
introduce
sir.
to you my guy, Carvell Griffin. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, man. It's definitely an honor to be here with you, for sure.
Same here. Same here, bro. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, bro. Tell us a little bit about how you first got it, like your first time incarcerated, how that led up to what age you were. But then
Mhm.
after that, we're gonna really dive into how you grew yourself to where you are today.
Got you. So, I was a wild, not wild youth. I was a adventurous youth. You know what I mean? And I didn't have a father figure at all.
Mm,
I was raised by a bunch of women.
mm-hmm,
No male cousins. Like I was the only one. So it was
mm,
kind of it was kind of different. Know what I mean? So with that saying, I bucked early. I ended up in LaSalle at I was 11 years old.
yeah,
I was over and ended up in LaSalle. Before that, I couple 3-4 day placements,
mm,
and from LaSalle, my uncle came and got me. He had ended up coming back to Schenectady from down south. So he came and got me and put me in my grandmother's and did the best he could. But
mm,
he couldn't be hands on enough. Now, I
right,
mean, he had his own family to take care of. He got
mm,
me up out of that situation, but I was just too rebellious.
mm,
I don't
mm,
know. I knew, I don't know. I was rebellious. I
right,
was
right,
very, very rebellious. So long story short, I ended up in when Bill Clinton and Biden passed that what is it, the 93 crime bill?
yep, yep,
They came here, they came to my city, they came to Schenectady, New York. And what they did right before that, they built a jail. They built a new jail on top of the old jail.
I
So
didn't know
now
that.
once they did that, they gotta fill that joint up. You know what I
Facts,
mean?
facts.
So with filling it up comes with growth also. So
Mm,
new jail, filling it up.
mm,
We're trying to grow the city basically.
right,
So this is 1993. I happen to be a youth still.
mm,
So they came through the city. They swept up 140 people, national news type thing, and yeah, that mass incarceration that came and took
so
my
you got
whole hood away.
you
Like
got caught
they,
up in the sweep, so you were
yeah,
part
yeah,
of the
yeah.
sweep
But
as
I was
11-year-old.
no. I was 14 at that time.
Gotcha.
So this
Right,
is this was the transition from now I mean stealing a bike, being on
right.
pins, and going into LaSalle and all the little
Mm,
boys' homes. I went to school in Northeast before I even went to LaSalle.
wow.
You know what I mean? So I've been in the system since I was like 9 years old.
Sheesh.
So
That's
long
wild.
story short, after they
Mm,
incarcerated the whole city, now I mean it left a gap and a void.
yep.
So what a lot of people don't understand in this war on drugs is very political.
It is.
So what they did is they made a vacuum.
Mm,
So I might be on the corner and your grandmother walk by. I'm gonna help her with her groceries.
right.
I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. I'm gonna get out the way. The kids is coming through. Yo, come
Yep.
on, watch out. Get out the way.
Yep. Yep.
But somebody that isn't from the neighborhood, not everybody, but that doesn't have a pride, doesn't know Miss Johnson. They just came here to get some money. And they like,
Mm, mm,
so that vacuum to build, and it was all designed. Like, look where the city's at now.
That's a
Know what I
fact.
mean? It couldn't without having a bigger jail. You can't
Yep.
you without taking people out to get people in,
Yep.
and through that mass incarceration, none of us had fathers because of the addiction. Like, I don't,
Hmm.
I might know
Hmm.
two fathers that was in the household that when I grew up,
That's a fact.
which is
That's
a
a fact.
big change now.
Yes,
Know what I
indeed.
mean?
Yes,
A
indeed.
huge change now. But
Yep.
it was just it was a real big political play. That's how I look at that.
Mm.
For
Mm.
period. In the war, it's like look at that war on drugs. I feel like I'm a crack war veteran.
Crack war
I
veteran.
got PSD,
Ah,
know what
that's
I
a
mean?
fact. Nah, that's a
PTSD.
fact. Yeah.
Literally, like I'm
Yep.
I'm a law-abiding citizen, but when I get pulled over, a lot goes through me. Know what I mean? A lot,
That
and
trauma.
it's
That trauma.
nothing. It's nothing I want, nothing I can take away, nothing
Yep.
I can change.
Yeah.
It's just something that's built in. That's like fuck.
Yep. Nah,
But
that's a fact.
it's just it took a huge toll, and then it act all these little incarcerations from Tryon to Industry to
Hmm.
Highland. Know what I mean? Once I did end up in federal prison, I was fortunate enough to skip that state thing because
Mm.
that's rough on a lot of our brothers. They
Hmm.
want us to
Hmm.
they want us to come
Hmm.
home and change, but there's no
Resources.
rehabilitation in these
Yep.
prisons.
Yep.
I got it.
That's a
You
fact.
go you go into prison thinking you did your crime and you're gonna come here and change. You going to war.
Facts. That's a
You
fact.
you going to
That's
straight fucking war. No cut, no chasers. So the change, you can't even really begin to change into your home.
that's a fact.
Literally.
Yep. Yep. You got to
And
survive in there. You got to survive, and it's hard to grow while you're in survival mode. And to your point, and so no, I agree. I agree.
so
Yo,
I
so I'm sorry, real quick question for you. So you first incarceration was 11. How old were you the at your last incarceration?
I came home at 32. I
Damn.
came home
So
2010. I came home.
3 decades of in and out.
Yes, definitely.
So question about that. So what were the key turning points in your life that made you want to transition after them 3 decades?
The key turning point. I can't even I can't even really put my finger on it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just always been something in me that I knew personally that
Mm,
I was different. I was gonna
mm,
do something different. Even it's crazy. Like I met a person. I met a person in prison that was actually from Schenectady or from the area and knew of me.
got you.
And we built the bond there, and he was in the camp, and I was actually in the prison, so he has a lot more freedom. Like, he didn't
Mm,
have to really come into the prison like that unless he wanted to. Know what I mean? He had
right.
to on them yards and shit. So long story short, we did a lot of walking, and he's even told me, he gave me a call like, "Yo, you said you was gonna do that,"
Ooh,
and
ooh.
it's not even something, and I know I manifest a lot of shit. Like,
Talk
I
that.
love to tell my ideas to
Talk
people,
that.
and everybody be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, be quiet, don't tell nobody." I got so much shit in my head that I can't even fathom of doing all of it. And if
Mm,
you pick up an
mm.
idea and put the work in, I'm gonna be looking like, "Yo, you did that." Cause you
That's a
just
fact.
ain't gonna take a fucking idea and throw it up against the wall and you doing you. You
Right.
working is working. Nah, it don't work
That's a
like
fact.
that.
That's a
Know what I
fact.
mean? But
Yep. So one thing, a quick jewel that I hope everyone heard that you put down was the fact, like, some people say guard your vision, but I agree with you too. Like, I think you could freely share your vision because most people aren't going to execute it anyway. It takes someone to go out and execute it. And then another bar that you said was you always have faith in yourself. Like there was a belief system in yourself. And I think that's key because I think transitioning you have to have that faith and that belief because it ain't gonna be easy. And if you don't
no,
believe in yourself, ain't nobody gonna believe in you. And so I just think that's important to highlight because I do believe that is part of that transition is just having that faith and that belief in self, knowing that I'm special and I'm capable of doing this. So now can you kind of describe some of the obstacles? Well, you know what? let's take it back for a sec. So, can you talk about some of the businesses that you own and operated since incarceration?
I got a couple different LLCs. Each LLC has a apartment in it, a two unit home.
Mm,
I got a commercial building I was able to attain. That was actually my first purchase of a house besides the one I was living in was a 4,500 square feet commercial building
mm,
on whatever the major block in your city is. If you don't know my city, that's the block. If you was in
right.
New York City, it's Broadway. We gonna call it Broadway. But I was able to obtain a deal that was I didn't know it was a deal. Like a lot of people have come
Mm,
into my life and if I didn't meet the if I didn't got long story short, my wife's best friend's husband's friend came to hang some lights in my house, right?
mm,
He came and hung the lights up. And the next thing I knew, a friend of mine, he wanted a barber shop. He always had barber shops his whole life. And he was in a time where he didn't have a barber shop. Even when I came home from prison was a funny thing. He didn't have a barber shop. Then I go to get my hair cut. I'm like, yo, what up? Why you ain't got no shop? And he's dropping a jewel on me, explaining to me about how business goes. He's like, yo, I come
mm,
here Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't worry about the garbage can. I don't worry about who floods the toilet. I don't worry
mm.
about nothing but taking my dollar and going home.
Talk that.
So I couldn't understand what he was putting down. It just didn't register. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't register.
Mm-hmm.
So years after that, now I mean, after that, I threw that idea in his head. He finally came to a situation where the people he was working with pissed him off. And
Mm,
he came and he said, yo, this is how I'm feeling, XYZ. I said, you know what? You got all the equipment, XYZ. I'm gonna go borrow against my 401k. And
mm,
I'm gonna give you 5,000 for first,
mm.
last, and whatever else you need to open up. So he went and found this building that I'm sitting in. And when he found it, he told me to come look at it. I'm like, fuck, I'm looking at it for. I'm giving me the money to rent. You know what I mean? But I came. And when I came, something told me to say, how much?
Mm,
And the lady said, 125,000. So I said, okay. So now I don't know nothing about real estate, especially commercial real estate. I got my house and that's
right,
it. You know what I mean?
right.
So I got a great career. I'm thinking I'm gonna retire there. That's it. This
Mm-hmm.
this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got their feet up, we sleeping, we making bread. It's sweet. I'm
Right.
retiring right here. So long story short, I went and called Crinkle, aka John Howard,
He's been
aka
on
the
the show.
Oracle, aka my mentor, aka it wouldn't be no me in real estate without him.
Hold on,
No
real quick
bullshit.
for y'all who listening. Go back and check out one of the episodes, Kingpin episode that features Mr. John Howard Crinkle, who he just mentioned. That's our guy right there.
Nah, definitely, definitely. So long story short, I called him up. I told him the lady told me $125,000 to get the building. He came, he looked, he said, yo, if you can get anything on State Street for 125 and under, you gotta
Take
get
it.
it.
Right.
So with that said, I went to pulling my brains out. I didn't have no contractor. I didn't know nothing about nothing.
Mm,
So I went to the bank.
mm,
I talked to the people that own the building. And long story short, I never met him to this day. I met his
right.
sister, but the person I made the deal with, and it was all lawyers, no attorney, no real estate lawyers,
Mm.
no what are they? Real estate agents,
Realtor. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
just no realtors. So long story short, he told me 82.5 for the building, right?
Mm.
82.5. So now Crinkle's like, yo, you got it. I go to Bank of America. Bank of America approved me for 100K. So I'm
Mm.
like, all right, I'm winning, right? So now we getting all the paperwork in play. It come down. We not financing for no commercial building. Not
Oh,
because you can go buy a two family, a three, or four, but
but not
not a
commercial.
commercial building. Now, I
Mm.
mean, especially that's falling apart. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it was a little crazy. The part that they was renting us was behind this wall right here. It
Wow.
looked decent. But once
Wow.
you got through the door, be right here, water was pouring in. It was a little
Mm-hmm.
different. So
Mm-hmm.
long story short, Bank of America dubbed me. Now I'm like, whoa, what am I gonna do? I'm head over. I'm not getting no sleep. I called a guy up, the man that I never met. I said, listen, Bank of America's not gonna finance me. This is what it is, XYZ. I drew up my own contract. And
Mm.
I told we drew up
Mm.
a 3-year contract. He held the mortgage, right?
He held papers.
I
Yep.
I came with 18.5
Mm.
to the closing, to
Mm.
his lawyer's office with my lawyer. The 18.5, 10,000 went in escrow. So the building was 82.5. So now 10,000 goes in escrow. That leaves the building me owing 72.5,
Right.
$72,500 to purchase the building, right? So I wrote up a contract, and the contract was I was gonna lose if I didn't end up getting the building. Period. I didn't understand. I was just looking
Right.
at dollars and cents at one angle, but I was way over hills the fucking first weekend. So long
Mm.
story short, we do a 3-year deal. The first year, if I don't want to go forward, I get 10,000 back. The second year, I don't want to go forward, I get 12.5 back. The third
Mm.
year, I get 15,000 back. But mind you, I only can purchase every year, every calendar year. This started September 2014. So I
Mm.
gave him 18.5, 10,000 went for escrow on 72.5,
Right.
6,000 went for rent for the year, and 2,500 he put in his pocket for holding the mortgage.
Mm. Mm.
Now, in this contract that I put in there, I want this 10,000 the first year. If I back out, 12.5, 15, right?
Yep.
The first he amended the contract and put some addendums in it, right?
Mm. Mm.
And they all were for him. So now
Gotcha.
by December, I need to have heat in the building. By
Mm.
this date, I need to have
Mm.
this. Know what I mean? So I ended up finishing the whole building in 8 months.
Oof.
So now I'm
Oof.
like, oh shit, something happened. I got the buildings done. Know what I mean? I'm ready to roll. So
Right.
I go back to him. I can't purchase only every year, but it's
Mm.
8 months. And if
Mm.
something comes through and blows this fucking building down, I'm gonna get my money, my insurance money from the business, but he's gonna get up. His building blew down or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
So
Right.
now I go to him and I tell him, hey, I want to close. He's like, yo, you can't close because I'm collecting rent upstairs, 700, and I'm collecting rent in the back space, $300 for garbage piled to the ceiling.
Mm.
Dude
Mm.
across the street, still over there. He had trash, older man, trash piled to the ceiling, but it was hidden. Come across the street, look at his trash, make a way through. So homie's like, yo, you trying to take $4,000 out my mouth. I
Mm.
said, listen, I'm gonna give you $3,000 extra right now on the closing. Let's get
Mm.
this shit closed.
Mm.
He said, cool, right? So we close it, everything good. I ended up having to go to the bank with 14.5 down, which was 20% of 72.5, right?
Yep.
I ended up with a mortgage of $629 for 10 years on
Wow.
a building 4,500 square feet that has an apartment upstairs.
Yes, sir.
Know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
So I came into it making $1,000 a month also.
Yep. Yep.
That was gonna pay the 629.
Already.
What I didn't understand being a rookie in real estate, I put my tenant out upstairs. I put them both out.
Uh,
I ain't like how the tenant was moving. He didn't know I was buying the building.
you gotta get
Know
out
what I
of my
mean?
shit. I ain't liking how you moving.
Nah, he didn't know I was buying the building. He didn't understand this was a real play. Right? So he
Mm.
calling the
Mm.
landlord, he did this, he did that. So once I took shit over, I was moving on emotions
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not being a businessman, not
Mm.
understanding. I put this
Mm.
dude out. Now I'm not making that 700 a month. That was already clearing the
Right.
mortgage.
Right.
Know what I
Right.
mean? I put him out, but I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna rehab it. Yeah, you're
Mm.
gonna go up there and rehab it, right, buddy? So now you're not only missing $700 a month, you're gonna go up there and pop a quick $25,000 in there, and you're gonna
Into
rent
it.
it. You're gonna
Yep.
rent it for maybe 13 to 1500 a month.
Right.
Took you 6 months, so you lost 7 times 6, 4,200 plus the
Yes, sir.
25. You done
Yes,
lost
sir.
30
30
grand,
G's. Yep.
and you're
Yep.
only making it. Like I say, you're making the extra 800 on time because you can't count the whole 15. You was getting 7.
Correct. Correct.
So divide 800 into 30,000 and tell me how long that's going to take you to recoup.
To get your money back. Yeah, that's a bar. That's some bars right there. A couple. You said mad bars. Honestly, for people who are
So the
listening,
thing was, I just didn't understand. I should have left him there until he moved. Once he
that's a fact.
moved, then if you can't get nobody in there, yeah,
Now fix it up. Yeah,
now,
and then
now fix
execute.
it up.
Right. Well, but you also said I don't know if all of our listeners know what holding papers is, and so like holding papers is a play where you get the individual who owns the house or the property to continue to hold the paperwork instead of the bank. They
He
play
is the
bank,
bank.
right? They play bank, and they get that
Yeah, you
property.
are. Once you own a property, you can sell it to whoever you want. You can sell it to
Yep.
them for how much ever you want. The bank
Yep.
might not give you that much money, but they'll give
That's
you a
a fact.
certain amount that they feel is worth. But right now, if I want to sell anything for $1 million, if somebody comes to say it's worth $1 million to them, the bank may say, "Hey, it's worth 300 to us. We'll give you the 250. You put the 50 down. You got to figure out the rest."
The rest. That's a fact. And so holding papers is dope. If people don't understand it, it's a dope concept. Look it up. Also, some other things you said that I thought were some bars were negotiations. And something I tell people all the time is you never get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. And a lot of times as a rookie mistake, you hear about artists, rappers who say they got bad deals, their
Hmm.
first deal around. I think oftentimes, if honestly, for any of us, if we're ignorant to a fact and you're going into a contract, the other person is looking for things, the upper hand. They're looking for things that are going to help them. And so when you're in those negotiation rooms, one, it's important that you have a lawyer look stuff over and you get a thorough understanding of what you're signing. But two, it's
The
really
lawyer
important
told me I was crazy.
for taking that, for even signing that deal, right?
But
Right,
I told her this is what I'm comfortable with. This is what I want.
right.
Again, something that has me believing in myself, and I
Yes, sir.
honestly did not know what I was getting into. If I probably would have knew what this really entailed, what I was getting into, because money
Look at that.
couldn't. Do we know what the guy told me after it all went down? Because he also owned the house next door. So now
Mm,
he wants to. That's a whole nother story. Now he wants to hold paper on the house next door too.
next
So
door,
now
yeah.
I'm a little smarter. So now I'm like, yo, let's go get an appraisal. I'll pay
Yep,
half for the appraisal.
yep.
I wanted to give him 30. He's saying 35. I'm like, nah, let's go get the appraisal. Come back at 27.5.
Look at that. Look at it. And so you living
But
and
he
learn. So with that living and learning, what part of like what role did self improvement or education play in your journey as you begin to continue to grow in business? I can't hear you. There you go. I hear you.
everything with me has actually been self education with my own dollar, like going to buy some paint and knowing, oh shit, you needed interior paint, you got exterior paint.
Trial and
Oh,
error, right?
yeah, all my lessons have been learned on my dollar. It's like going to
Mm,
college. Like a lot of people, I tell my kids, I don't care if you go to college. I know my personnel, right?
right,
And my family is my team. And
right,
I know what my personnel is gonna do and what they can't do.
right.
My daughter and my son, they go to school, they pick shit up like this. It's like simple, it's
Hmm.
easy. My oldest daughter, she wasn't good on tests. So what
Hmm.
I had to realize was you work very hard, you get things done, it takes you a while,
Yep.
but I don't care about the tests.
Talk about it.
Do
Yep.
your best. I don't give a fuck what the test says.
Yep.
We not rolling on tests over here because you don't test well. And I understand because I do test well. I ain't even got to look at the shit much and I can go over there and basically, damn, I'm going to get a 65. Know what I mean? Unless it's rocket science.
Right.
Know what I mean? You know, I might not,
Yep.
but
Yep. Yep.
like,
Yep.
and she, so with that being said, I didn't care about tests. And I also know she can't go to college.
Mm,
Reason being, she cannot
mm,
go to college is because you're going to be here. You're not going to enjoy yourself. College, for my children to go to college, I want you to enjoy yourself and have an experience,
Right.
especially if you think I'm helping out. I'm not paying. I
Mm-hmm.
might help out. I paid for private school.
Right.
Why am I paying for college?
Right. No.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? And everything that you can learn in college, you can come sit with me and we can figure it out hands on.
Real life experience. I agree. Best teacher. Best teacher.
But
I
but
agree.
but a lot of people should go to college for the experience.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
can afford to go for the experience. But I'm not. It's like you can right now. I can't go get $25,000 to go in a house, but I can go get 25,000 to go to school
Mm. 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 Mm.
to be
Now,
your employee.
do you to this day do you like invest in yourself by like going to conferences, or because like you said you're a self-educated person, so do you continually are you continually educating yourself? Like, I know for me, I try to take 15 minutes every day just to read about transportation because that's my main engine. And so I'm always trying to learn. It don't have to be passenger transportation. I might read about airplanes. I might read about trains. Like, I just want to know as much as I can because I know knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's part of my evolution and my growth is, or if I want to be a better speaker, I'm educating that. If I want to have a great podcast, I'm educating that. So I'm always looking to self-educate. I'm the same way. Like, school wasn't my jazz, but I learned through trial and error in this thing called Google. That motherfucker's a bad
Nah,
tool.
nah. You know, a lot of my education and common sense came from music.
Mm,
And a
mm,
lot of and it's fucked up that the music that these children have now, like we learn, I personally I just learned not having them male figures in a lot of the bars that was being dropped as we was youth, from Poor Righteous Teachers to Brand Nubian
mm,
to De
mm,
La Soul. It was just
mm.
a lot of hidden jewels
That's a fact.
that I was influenced by.
Yep.
And
Yep.
even to this day, I jump over the music. And when I came home from prison, right, I didn't watch no videos. I knew videos and all that stuff influenced me as a
Mm,
grown man. I know my vices, right?
that's right.
So to go watch the videos, see the women, everybody partying, everything looking good, it's like, damn. You get kind of antsy because I used to live that life or think I
Yep.
was living that
Yep.
life.
Yep.
So once I X'd out things like that and understood different vibrations, I was
Mm,
able to
mm,
I was just able to just be able to have clarity. Like I say this, right? I came home from my first prison bid, my first federal bid. I was lucky. I got a committing a felony over communications device. And I ended up doing 34 months, right? When
right.
I came home, I still to this day have an open case out of New Jersey that's 27 years old, right? And they want me to come to New Jersey. And I'm telling them I'm not coming to New Jersey. We done talked to the lawyers. We done did it all. Nah, I mean, I can't get a passport, so I done been everywhere that America owns. Nah, I mean, but I don't know why I jumped off that, but when I came home, I couldn't go to the halfway house. You
Mm,
got this open case out of New
mm.
Jersey. Know what I mean? So I had to go to the door. So I came fresh home, bro.
Damn.
Like I came
Damn.
from
Home.
straight
Just release. Yeah. Yeah.
release straight, like picked me up, sped down the highway. I'm in the hood, like
Right.
yeah,
Right.
like
I'm
yeah,
back.
I'm back. And it wasn't a good. So I say that to say when I came home this time, I was able to get halfway house. They figured something out. New Jersey still wasn't coming to get me. They was like, yo, listen, we gonna give you the halfway house. And I went to Syracuse. And when I went
Mm,
to Syracuse, when I left, I still had the staff. I wasn't going for long. I was only going for 2 years on this one. Now, I
gotcha.
mean, it was I had a charge in Pennsylvania and they put the cart before the horse. They dismissed all the charges, but I
Mm.
failed to appear for a
Dang.
superseding indictment.
Uh,
So, and
uh,
I was on the run. So once I turned myself in after about 3 years, pulled up like, yo, let's go. I'm ready. Bag here. I'm still going to trial. Now, I mean, that's how I felt about the situation. So they
mm,
ended up basically throwing all the charges out.
Let's go.
Once they threw all the charges out, they gave me failure to appear because I didn't come for the superseding indictment because I was on pretrial.
Wow, they know how to interweave and make those
No,
webs like
but
hard to
it
navigate.
actually set me on a path
Mm,
that led me to where I'm at today. It put me. I went back to the same prison that I was in 2001 to
damn.
2004. Now I mean now I'm back 2008 to 2010,
Wow.
and a lot of people came back there during that time, and a lot of people didn't leave. A lot of people didn't
Mm,
come back with the time that I had. So
mm,
once I left and I was on my way to the halfway house, right? The first thing I told myself was I left in 2008. I still had true religion, my clothes, everything was still there. What I
right.
did was I said just send me some Levi's, know what I mean, a pair of Nike boots, know what I mean, a little black coat. I'm good. Know what I mean? Got that. Went to the halfway house, 3 pair of Levi's, 1 pair of boots, 1 coat, know what I mean, couple t-shirts. Cause I'm trying to get myself and I'm not that guy. And
That's right.
nobody knows me here. That's the
Recreated.
other
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
I gotta get
Yep.
out my own self for who I know I am. And
That's
I'm
right.
struggling with myself because damn, I'm getting on the bus. But
Right.
nobody don't know me here.
Right.
Know what I mean? So it don't
Yep.
matter.
Yep.
Nobody has no perception of me in Syracuse.
That's right.
They
That's
do
right.
not know Carvell, the other guy, C.R.E.A.M. Nobody knows you, buddy.
Yep.
Figure it out. So I'm in
Yep.
the mirror, literally like I talking to myself. I'm telling myself I can do this. I've
Let's
never
go.
had a job before in my life. Never had a
Mm,
job, right? Get to the halfway house, you got to get a job.
right.
They giving you a job. So they gave me a job and I didn't like the job. So now, I got a bad leg. I got a metal rod in my leg. I'm good, but I'm gonna use that as my handicap. I can't work standing up
Mm,
all day. That ain't all
mm,
night, and it's a night job. Y'all playing
mm.
games over here. I'm in the middle of change, but I ain't changed that much
I ain't
that
changed that
fast. Yeah. So long
much.
story short, I got blessed, right? I ran down on Syracuse. There was this company called Lazy Boy, not Lazy Boy. I can't think of it right now. But what they did was, and this is a business that you could jump on right now. So they went to all the universities in Syracuse.
Yeah. Now we can't hear you. Nope. There
University
it is.
is huge. They have
Yep.
Lemoyne that's around there, and maybe one more.
Hmm.
So what this company did, they were a laundromat, but they weren't open to the public, and they were also a cleaners, right?
Mm.
So what they did was they would go to the Syracuse University and they would pick up the kids' laundry. So now if your kid's going to
Mm.
college, I'm sending you this before they get to school. It's coming in the package. We do we,
Mm.
we do wash and fold and we do dry cleaning. And we'll pick it up
Mm.
from the dorms and we'll drop it back off at the dorms, right? So I'm looking in the paper, I find this, and I'm not going there for that. What I'm going there for is when the kids move out and move into college, off them campuses and out them dorms, everything has to leave. We don't care if you're coming
Yep.
back to the same room, the same
Yep.
residence. Everything has to go, and we'll figure out if you're coming back when you come back and
Yep.
out. So the company that they had, we went and we removed all the furniture, right? From each
Mm.
house. This is college
Mm.
furniture, though, mind you.
Mm.
You're better off throwing this damn mirror away from Walmart than letting me
Right.
store it.
Right.
But hey, it's all
Yep.
cheap as college furniture. You might get some people that got a house, a frat house, but long story short, so you measure it with, write it down, put it on a pallet, store it, drop it. So cool, right? This is the first year. This is May. I just got out the halfway house April. I land
Mm.
this joint in May. Dude hires me. Remember Cole Muffler?
Yeah, yeah,
All
yep,
right,
yep. Same
Adam
here.
Adam Cole. This is the Cole family.
Wow.
Good friend of
Wow.
me, good friend of mine to this day, right? So he hires me. Like I ain't got no license. Let me drive his truck, pickup truck, everything, right? You feeling me? So now he hires me. I do all the deliveries, whatever the case may be. Shit is winding down. They don't need everybody. They don't need all these delivery guys. He
Mm,
knows my situation. He knows I'm
mm,
only able to get 750 from the halfway house. And if I get too much money, they gonna take this and do that. So
right.
now I talk to him. He like, boom, I'm gonna give you the 750. I'm gonna give you the other money in your pocket. Now I mean, we working. He understanding what it is, right? So now it's time. I'm leaving the halfway house. I'm getting out the halfway house. Everything is over. He kept me on to give me a job.
Mm,
Now he got me in the warehouse. I'm the only one there. Like I'm saying, he's like, yo, go get me some coffee. Shit like that. Now I mean, just
right, right, right.
whatever
Yep.
he could do to put a
Whatever's
dollar in
needed.
my
Yep,
pocket. He's like, yo,
yep.
I'm fucking with you. So long story short, now real, Omar Black, real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep,
All
yep.
right, so now Real hits the halfway house, right? Real's in the halfway house. So I'm talking to Adam. I'm like, yo, my man, he's like, nah, I ain't got nothing. Nah, I mean, it's a wrap after you. I ain't need you. The next day when
Mm,
I came back, he said, do you know him? I said, yeah, I know him. He's from my city. I know him. He's like you? I said, yeah, he's like me. I was only with Adam from April, maybe 45 days, right? Real gets in there. He's doing the laundry shit.
yep.
He never leave. He leaves the halfway house, gets his own crib up there, stays in
Mm,
Syracuse. Nah, I mean
mm,
he rolling. He doing him. Passed the
yep,
ball. He took the
yep.
ball. So
Ran with it.
now it's time. That was May. The kids moved out. Now August. It's time for the kids to move in.
Hmm.
Real's the man up there at the warehouse now.
Mm,
So I'm like, yo, this is how we gonna swing this. I'm on house arrest now. I mean, I got the bracelet on.
yep,
The
yep.
job's in Syracuse. I load up my son because I ain't got no money for him to go to school this year to pay for his school clothes. So you gonna come get
Mm,
this $15 an hour under the table. I ain't gotta get no money out my pocket for that. Nah, I mean, he was what was he?
right.
He was going into the 10th grade, I think. Load up my
Gotcha.
son and grab three more homies every day. We shooting to
Mm,
Syracuse, 2 hours.
mm.
Splitting the gas. We all getting in our own trucks when we get up there. Real didn't have to hire nobody. It might have been one other person besides us. You feel
That's
what I'm
real.
saying?
That's real.
It
That's
was
real.
only one other person. So it got so funny that me when get off the door. It got so funny that when I got back there, I want to get paid from 6 a.m. from the time I leave out my house.
I believe in. That's right. Yeah, yeah,
Leaving
yeah. Yep,
Schenectady.
yep,
I
yep,
put this whole goddamn play together. I'm getting
yep,
paid when I leave the crib. Real
yep.
like, yo, I can't do that. I'm like, what? I'm shot calling over your head, buddy. Hey, right in front of yo, Adam. Uh, just me. When I leave the house, I'm a clock in at 6 o'clock. Is that okay? Yeah, yeah, no problem, Carvell. All right, nobody else, just me. Yeah, yeah, no problem. Knock it off, buddy. But I say that to say he when he just the reputation and how you move can
Perceived it. Yeah.
slide somebody else right in because he didn't have no money for him. It wasn't no
Right.
job. He created
Right.
something to say, all right, he like you, yeah.
I got
So
him. And yo, that's yo. Actually, you said some other bars that I hope people listening understand. One thing that I caught that I think is huge was the fact, like you said, you went somewhere else so you could start to reinvent yourself. And I think that's big because oftentimes we're released and we're put right back in the same situations. And we all got pride, right? And it's kind of hard to go from you was doing certain things and now you not doing them things. And if your peers are still doing certain things and living a lifestyle, it's easy to want to get sucked right back into that. And I just think by you leaving, that really helped you in that process. And I think a lot of people can learn from that because even in my journey, I didn't get a chance to leave. But what I did do was I put myself in a bubble. And so I was just going to work. It was just me, my wife, my mom's, and my first daughter. And that was just my routine. All my peoples, I literally shut them out for a good 2 years or so, just so I could recreate myself. And then I was able to then welcome people back into my life with certain standards and guidelines, them understanding there's just certain shit I won't do anymore. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think people could take that, Jewel. I think also humbling ourselves, like it's just part of the process. Like you said, now you on the bus for a while. And but you didn't skip the line. You went through the process. So you went from being on that bus to then eventually being driving the other dude's truck to now you got your own trucks and you driving your truck out there yourself. So it's always a process, and no one, you can't skip the line in the process. And then
Nah,
also I
definitely.
think,
Definitely,
and then
it
the
was
last jewel,
it was
the
a huge process. It was a huge process, but it was more of a fight with myself. Know what I
right,
mean? The
right.
fight was more so me against me.
That's a fact, bro. And I think that's usually the case. And then, so I like to try to keep our interviews like 40, 45 minutes. So I know we could talk forever, and we do at
Definitely.
times. But I want to leave with one question that I always like to ask the guests. And that is, what advice do you have for others? Like, what advice would you have for the 11-year-old Cream Carvell uh that was first starting to get in trouble? What would you give that 11-year-old self today, knowing everything you know today, to avoid some of those valleys that you've gone through in your life?
I would give myself a trade because that's where I feel I'm
Mm,
losing, and that's where a
mm,
lot of us are losing. When you allow somebody else to employ you, you're allowing them to basically feed you. So
mm,
at the end of the day, I say this to say I give a good example. When I came home, I ended up working for a company called Momentum. When I finally got back to Schenectady, I did some odds and end jobs, some deliveries with my peoples, but I was able to end up getting this huge company called Momentum that used to be owned by GE. Leon
yep.
Black was running it when I left. It was a huge company, and everybody in the company was making money. I don't, and everybody in the company, it was swing shift. It was, if it was 1,000 white people, it was only 100 black, right? So
Mm,
my mother worked there. My mother-in-law worked there for over 30 years. She's still there to this day. So I was on the outside of the plant, right outside the fence, right? And I'm making good money over here. I'm making about 50, 60 if I do my overtime, right? But if you go in the plant, you ain't even gotta do no overtime. You're gonna make that same 60 bands plus.
mm,
You follow me?
mm,
So
mm.
once I left the comfort of my mother-in-law, she can't protect me no more. Now I mean, I'm
Right,
going in here with all these people. They done Googled me. They done did a whole
mm,
lot because you got to
mm,
bid. And so once I got in the building, I'm the only black person in the building. And mind you, you
mm.
sleep, eat, and shit here. You work
Wow.
Monday through Friday, 3 to 11. You're off for the weekend. You come back Tuesday night at 11. You work 11 to 7 for a whole 7 straight days, 12
Mm,
hours on the weekend. Then you'll be
mm.
off 4 more days. So you're actually living with these people. And everything's
For real.
on the job training. Everything they
Mm,
did there, you take the test, you pass the test, you sign off, boom, you get your bread, right?
mm.
So now, I told you earlier, I'm good at tests.
Right.
So I'm
Yep.
on there's two methyl chloride and siloxanes. These are different acids. These go in, the rail cars, the black rail cars. I used to
Yeah.
unload the rail cars and the silos and different tankers and shit. Hook them up,
See.
stuff like that. Take acid, bomb samples, bring them to the lab. Just
Mm,
but all on the job training. So
mm,
now a job opening came up. And the person that was qualified for that job opening, he didn't take the test, right? He didn't
mm,
think I was going to be able to pass the test, but I had
mm.
inside knowledge because a girl just took the test that's on my shift, but she works on the other side. So I got her
Gotcha.
notes, long story short, I
Yep.
bust the
Yep.
shit out, right?
Yep.
Now I'm leaving the comfort of the people that know me. I see these other people at the clock clocking out and everything. But now I'm
Yep.
leaving the comfortability of the people that took a chance and got to know me that can actually say when I get ready to cuss one of you motherfuckers out that, nah, he's not like that. You're fucking with him. Nah, I mean,
Right.
yeah, you can say whatever you want, but I got some people behind me that I've been
Yep.
dealing with. Nah, I mean, that know my character.
That's right. That's right.
So, long story short, I go to the next shift. It's some fuckery on the strength of I would have been upset too. They got the dude training me that knows the job, but I don't know the job. As he's
Mm.
training me, there's 4 people to a shift, right? Sorry, 5 people to a shift. You only need 4. So all
Mm.
these people have 60 days, 90 days vacation, 120 days vacation. Every time somebody doesn't come in, I get a $5 raise per hour. This one guy that I'm going to change shifts, I'm taking his job. There's not been nobody in that position for over a year. So he's been collecting that $5 an hour.
Yeah.
Now you want
Every
him to
day.
train somebody that passed the test but doesn't know the job.
Oh, I
And
feel you.
then,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. I see what you're saying.
know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? So then
Yeah.
all the people on his shift is like, nah, don't train him.
Right.
Now, they know I don't know the job. The shift lead, the head guy, when everybody else is asleep now, he usually sleeps somewhere. He coming
Yeah.
trying to find me on midnight sleeping somewhere. And it's a big plant. You gotta come look. I'm
Right.
now I got a radio. You need me, radio me. Know what I
Right. Right.
mean?
Right. Right. Right.
Now
Right.
he running down like, yo, I need you to be studying. I need you to do this, do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mind you, I feel like I'm gonna retire from here because I
Mm-hmm.
live, sleep, eat, and
You
shit
said
there. I
it.
take my showers there. We make dinners there. We got a kitchen, like
Mm-hmm.
holidays and all that
Mm.
shit. I don't want to work holidays because you get paid even if you don't work the holiday. That day you come back, you get double time and a half. That first
Dang.
day coming back.
Dang.
So,
Dang.
to long story short, I came in one day. The kid was training me, and I wanted to leave. I put 4 hours in. I said, I'm taking 4 hours today. I'm getting up out of here. Right.
Mm.
I can't do anything without him. When I come back the next day, they say a dike got filled with oil. So basically, when we was running around, sometimes you gotta bleed the oil. You gotta bleed the water. When you got oil in a tanker, water and oil don't mix. So the
Right.
oil sits on the top, right? So
Right.
when you do your rounds, you gotta go drain the water off the oil.
Makes
But
sense.
what we do is a big tank farm might take a wrench and leave it open and let it
Mm.
just go into where it's going, right?
Mm.
And run back around the tank farm. I didn't do that day. He did. When I came back, they had me on a write up, like, yo, yeah, sign this. Oh, you filled up a dike. I'm
Mm.
like, cool. All right. So now I got this building almost done. Now I mean it's in play. But I know I can't leave this job. This building might not make it, whatever what I'm trying to do. This is a career that I have here. Like I'm
Right.
getting
Right. Right.
money. I got health
Uh-huh.
insurance. The family's on the health insurance. Like my
Yep.
wife
Yep.
is looking like, what the
401k.
fuck you doing?
Yep.
Man,
Yep.
I mean, what we doing here, bud? I'm like, I don't know. But so from how I left, I ended up leaving, but I went out on disability. I went out on the strength of saying I work these swing shifts. My sleeping patterns is off. Go to the
Makes
doctor
sense.
prescribe me
Yeah.
something to sleep. I can't
Yep.
sleep, I can't regulate it, I can't do this, I can't do that. So, after about 7, 8, 9 months, they calling you you coming back, going to doctors. I stopped going, said, fuck it, I'm good, I'm gonna make it.
Started your own
And,
thing.
and,
And
and,
nah,
and finish my own thing, yeah.
talk that. Nah, that's some real stuff. Because, like you said, I think that's good advice to go back and for our listeners to understand, get a trade.
A trade is
Because you
it.
can,
Because
it is what it is.
you're gonna feed yourself. If you're a hustler and you got a
Mm-hmm.
trade, you write your own
Mm-hmm.
check. There's
That's
nothing,
right.
there's nothing nobody could do. And then everybody that's running that has these trades are old right now. They're
Right.
phasing out.
They're aging out. Yep.
We
Yep.
need
Yep. So
we need youth. And if I had a trade would save me $10,000 every time I
you
went
ain't
to look
lying.
at a house. So that
Damn
means I
right,
can
bro.
outbid anybody. Don't care who comes in the building. I got a trade. I know how to do one of these things that I have to do in this
Yep.
house. That means I
Yep.
can outbid that guy because he got to outsource it to a general contractor.
That's a fact, bro.
So his
That is a
numbers is going
fact.
to be higher than me. So I can bid higher over here because my labor
Yep.
and shit's going to be lower over
It's going
there.
to be lower. Yep. Nah, that's a fact. And so go out there, y'all. Listen up. Get those trades because trades are impactful. They turn into dollars. Also another thing that Carvell said was he had to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's part of the transition. Like as you're transitioning and you're looking to change your life, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable because that's where the growth actually lies when you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And so we're gonna wrap it, get ready to wrap this one up. I want to give a special thanks again to Carvell Griffin Strong for coming through, blessing us with his story, but also the jewels. I'm hopeful that you guys picked them up. Go through, listen to this again to make sure if any jewels you might have missed that you pick up, and for all of our listeners out there, Carvell talked a lot about real estate, and I think one thing for certain, real estate is a play that even if you don't know about, take some time to do some research while you're incarcerated. Read some books on real estate, learn about real estate. Real estate is the number one wealth developer in this country. It has been historically. So if you don't own anything, you need to own some real estate.
And,
That's where Americans tend to gather the majority of their wealth.
and
And
there is no wrong way to do real estate. This is my mantra. There's no wrong way to do real estate as long as it's working for you.
right,
People are going to discourage you, tell you don't do this, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. Make it work for you. If you make it work for you, don't worry about the outside noise. Don't
yes,
worry about it. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Juice Factory RX. That's my
okay.
wife's business located at 151 4th Street, Troy, New York, 12180. Tap in. She got everything healthy for you: fruits, juice, salads, acai bowls, things of that nature.
Talk it. What's the social medias? Where can they find all of that?
Oh, Juice Factory VII. So that's JUIC Factory VII. And then you could
Gotcha.
catch me at Cream Flipping Your Hood, Cream Flipping My Hood, sorry. CREAMFLIPPING, My Hood. Or you can catch me on Facebook at Carvell Griffin.
There it is, y'all. Tap in with the brother. I know he's always willing to share some advice. And other than that, as always, we appreciate you. You could be anywhere in the world, but you tapped in with us today. So we truly appreciate you. And leave your thoughts, some comments. If you have any questions, go ahead, put those down in the comment section below. And until next time, just keep your head up, grind hard, and remember you can't skip the line.
Bang, bang, Equity Gang.
Hey. Nah, bro, that was a great episode, bro. Your story is